checking out this video. Don't forget, like and subscribe. I thought that the invasion, like the famous WCW, WWF invasion, was just about the stupidest invasion I've ever seen. They have now topped it with what is no longer, by the way, it is no longer the invasion.
No.
Because there were actually a whole bunch of articles came out. I think it was Monday. A lot of fans in Israel were upset about the usage of the term invasion.
Yeah. Netanyahu said, "This don't work for me, brother."
And they, at first I just heard, at first people started sending me the articles. They said, "You think anything's going to happen?" And I was like, I don't know. I don't think so. And then all of a sudden they started sending me like, you realize that nowhere on WWE.com does it say invasion anymore. And I went up there, and in fact, all of the previews for next week's show just referred to it as the big show. And then, like Ava, when she did her original announcement of invasion, they had that up there on Twitter, and the video was gone.
Yeah. I mean, Brian, why would you think it's an invasion? Santino made it quite clear. Haven't you been watching the show? They've been working together for years.
Well,
this is a showcase. Oh, perhaps a showdown.
Well, they changed the name. They've now trademarked Showdown after they trademarked Invasion about a week ago.
And when everybody at the end of the show from the other show showed up in a vehicle to
invade.
They
invaded the prior week as well. Yeah, it's stupid. But it is not the stupidest thing that happened on this show. So we got to go back a little ways. On the PLE this weekend, Ava said, after that invasion this past Tuesday on NXT, I met with Santino Marella. And we spoke for hours, she said.
Hours.
They spoke for hours to figure out what to do about this.
Hours.
And they came up with the idea of this, what was it then called, the Invasion pay-per-view. And she said it would be 2 Survivor Series matches for the men and the women. And they would choose the teams on Tuesday. So the story, which they never tell, but it is the story, is that Ava is a Gen Z Nepo child who is absolutely lazy and never wants to do any work. And literally, after all that time, she shows up on Tuesday and literally doesn't even have captains. The show opens with Ricky Saints coming out. He's interrupted by JC Jane. They kind of argue back and forth a little bit. At which point, Ava comes out and says, you know what? You two are the captains. Now you two go choose teams. I was like, this is like the greatest and most obnoxious character in all of wrestling, this Ava character. So now they're in charge of figuring out, well, who's on the NXT teams, okay? So then Santino shows up, all right? Now, before we get into what Santino announced, let's just remind you that the entire reason that TNA invaded NXT was because on the Grayson Waller show, Grayson Waller said, I'm going to make a match. Trick Williams and Obafemi are going to wrestle for the TNA and NXT titles in a title versus title match, winner takes all. That resulted in all of the TNA talent going on Twitter and saying, we are sick of NXT wrestlers holding our belts. We're sick of NXT wrestlers representing TNA. Something needs to be done about it. And then they invade. So knowing that, would anybody like to guess who Santino chose as the captain of his women's TNA team? He chose an NXT woman holding a TNA title. It's dumb enough. Like, they did this during the original invasion, the WWF, WCW invasion. It's dumb enough that someone from the other side is on the other team. That's stupid enough. But literally, they chose someone from the other side with one of the belts, which is why the other side was angry in the first place. Kalani Jordan, NXT wrestler Kalani Jordan, who is the TNA Knockouts champion, is the captain of Team TNA. Now, if that isn't dumb enough, the Knockouts champion, who is actually an NXT wrestler, is the captain of the TNA team, but the NXT wrestler, who is the TNA men's champion, is actually on the NXT team as the TNA champion. I'm done. You take over. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notify button, and you'll never miss a video again.